The recycle bin you might not know about, perhaps holding data you thought you'd lost. Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. When we talk about the recycle bin, what usually comes to mind is the one on your computer's desktop. When you delete a file in Windows File Explorer, it's moved to the recycle bin rather than being immediately and permanently deleted. If you change your mind, you can restore files from the recycle bin. Conversely, you can empty the recycle bin, permanently deleting the files. That's not the recycle bin I'm talking about. If you use almost any online cloud storage, you probably have another recycle bin. The catch is that it applies only to your cloud storage. So I'm going to end up using OneDrive as an example throughout this article because it's present in Windows from the start, whether or not you want it to be. The concepts, however, apply to many other online storage providers, including Dropbox and Google Drive and Proton Drive and others. Normally, when you delete a file, that file is simply moved to the recycle bin. Let's look at that. So here I am in Windows 11. I've got my Windows File Explorer, and what I have here is a folder on this machine called Local Documents, and there is, in fact, an example Word document. Now, if I open up the recycle bin, just by double-clicking on its icon, you'll see that the recycle bin looks like another folder. And in this case, it's empty. Now, if I go over here and delete example local Word document, what happens is, well, it just gets moved into the recycle bin. It's been deleted from its location, and it's now in the recycle bin. If I want to, I can, in the recycle bin, right-click on it and say Restore, which basically just moves it back to where it came from. Now, the catch with the recycle bin is that if we delete a document, and now we go over to the recycle bin, and we empty the recycle bin, there's usually an option somewhere on the toolbar. Boom. It's going to ask us, are you sure? We're sure. And now that document is gone, period. It has been physically removed from my computer. I'll need some kind of fancy undelete utility to even stand a chance of being able to recover it. With the more time that passes, of course, the chances of it being recoverable would be less likely. If, however, that file was in a storage provider, one of your cloud storage providers, I'm going to go over to, in my Windows File Explorer here, I'm going to go over to my OneDrive and my documents folder therein. Here I have a Word document in OneDrive. If I now delete this, that file, same thing. It's a file on my PC, even though it's in OneDrive. The OneDrive folder is being mirrored online. So the file still exists on my PC. When I delete it from the OneDrive folder on my PC, that file is simply moved back to the recycle bin. Now, if I empty the recycle bin, now that file is once again physically removed from my computer. It's gone. It's exactly the same scenario as we had before with the file that was not in OneDrive. However, what we're going to do is go to OneDrive.com online, the actual cloud storage. In my files, if I go into Documents, sure enough, that folder is empty. That document that I had in it, it got synchronized to the cloud. It's gone. But is it? In OneDrive.com, there's a recycle bin online. If I click on the recycle bin, there's the document. We deleted it from the PC. We emptied the PC's recycle bin. Deleting it from the PC caused it to be deleted from the online storage in OneDrive.com. However, when that was deleted at OneDrive.com, OneDrive.com moved it to its own separate recycle bin. When you empty the recycle bin on your PC, the recycle bin in your cloud storage provider is completely unaffected. So I can now go ahead and on this document say restore. That's going to put it back into My Files, Documents. Sure enough, there it is online. And now, if I go back to the Documents folder on my PC, it got downloaded. In other words, we were able to use the separate recycle bin at OneDrive.com to restore the file. Now, there are two catches here. First, OneDrive.com's recycle bin is kept for, at most, 30 days. Files older than 30 days are permanently removed from the online recycle bin. Also, the OneDrive.com recycle bin counts against your OneDrive.com storage quota. If your total OneDrive storage quota exceeds your account's quota, then files may also be permanently deleted from the recycle bin ahead of that 30-day schedule in order to make room. That second one often surprises people. If they delete files to make more space, but the available storage doesn't change, it's not until files are permanently removed from the recycle bin that the space is truly freed. There's one other slight bit of confusion here, and that's simply this. OneDrive calls it a recycle bin. Dropbox has a deleted files folder. Google Drive has a trash folder. Proton Drive also happens to call it trash. You get the idea. It goes by many names, but the concept is still the same. However, the details are often not. OneDrive saves files in the recycle bin for 30 days before permanently deleting. Others save for fewer days or for more days. And in almost all cases, that recycle bin /trash/whatever counts against your storage quota. Check with the service you're using, not only for what they call it, but for how long you can rely on it. I do want to reiterate that this other recycle bin is provided by the cloud storage service you're using. Files that are not stored in the service's folders, for example, as I outline in How Do I Store Files on My Computer and Not OneDrive, those files are not protected by this additional safety net. Only the files actually stored in the OneDrive folder, or Dropbox or Google Drive or Proton Drive or whatever it is you're using, those files are the only files that benefit from this additional layer of protection. Files kept outside of those folders have only the computer's native recycle bin for safety. Now, again, using cloud storage isn't for everyone. Some providers seem to go out of their way to make it difficult to feel safe using their services. But if you use one, as I do, you have an additional safety net for when things go wrong. A safety net you may not have even realized was there. For updates, for comments, for links related to this topic and more, visit askleo.com/1888843. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.